Now we will understand models. So models have all the classes which we have discussed in the class diagram. So the first model is base model. In the base model, we have the three properties ID, created it and updated it. So whenever we create base model, the base model should be mapped superclass. Why mapped superclass? Because we do not want to create any class for base model. We just want to inherit these properties like ID, created it and updated it, because this base model will be inherited by all the classes in our models directory, and I want all the tables which are created from these classes to have one ID, a created it and updated it. So this created it, updated it and ID will be automatically populated by the values supplied from the Spring framework. Okay, the ID will be automatically generated and it will be identity, means it will always give the next ID. Then created at will be current time and updated at will be the time when the record is updated. Okay, and this all works because of this annotation entity listeners auditing entity listener dot class. This is used for the auditing purpose, means on whatever class we annotate as entity listeners auditing entity listener, that class will provide the properties for the auditable class. So if cab is inheriting this class, then cab will be having the ID, created at, updated at. If customer is inheriting this class, then the customer will be having this ID, created it and updated it. And one more thing that is required for making this properties as auditable is you will have to annotate your application from this enable JPA auditing. So if you have enabled JPA auditing here, and if you have annotated your base model as entity listeners auditing entity listener dot class, then this properties will be auditable and you will not have to supply any values for these C parameters. Okay, now let's see all the classes one by one. So the first class is cab. So cab is extending base model. It means apart from these properties, cab will be having ID, created at and updated at. Then the cab will be having registration number, driver name, driver phone number, owner name, available, and it will be having a location, means where this cab is available. Okay, and we have used many to one relationship here because in one location there can be many cabs available. Then we have this vehicle type for this cab and the rating. The vehicle type can be sedan, SUV, mini, micro or prime. Okay, then you will understand the customer's model. So in the customer, we have this username, phone number, email, password, first name and last name. And other than these six properties, it will also be storing ID, created at and updated at, which will come from base model. Then we have this location, which is many to one. So why we are using many to one here? Because in one location there can be multiple customers. And the phase type I have set as eager, means whenever I want to see the customer in my app, I want to see their location also. The next model is location. So in the location, I have this getter setter, I have this all args constructor and this no args constructor. So when do we use all args constructor? So whenever you want to create the object by passing all the parameters like name, latitude and longitude. Okay, so by using all the parameters, if I want to create the object, then I use all args constructor. And no args constructor means whenever I just want to create the object without supplying any of this property, then I use no args constructor. So I don't have to write any constructor method for this class. This will be supplied by using these annotations which have been given to us by the Lombok framework. And this get is used for creating getter methods for all these properties, and this entity is used for creating table in our database. Okay, and other than these three properties, it is extending this base model, means it will be using ID, created at and updated at properties from the base model. The next model is trip. So in trip, we have the C annotations entity, getter and setter, which have been provided for the Lombok framework for creating the tables, getter methods and setter methods. Then we have this base model from which we will get the ID, created at and updated at. We have given name this model as trip. Why trip? Because every time customer is booking any request in his Ola or Uber app, he will have to supply the source destination and then he will select a cab. Okay, after selecting the cab, whenever the cab comes to his location and the driver starts the journey, that journey will be called a trip, and this trip model is used for that purpose. Okay, so one customer can do multiple trips, and that's why we have many to one relationship here. Okay, and in one trip there will be only one customer. So right now in this application we are supporting only one customer, and this is not for the group travel. Okay, then each trip will be having some distance, each trip will be having one cab. So here also we are using many to one relationship because one cab can do multiple trips. Then for each trip we will be having the bill amount, it will be having the start time, end time, and cancel date. Okay, when the trip was cancelled. Then we are having this current location which is many to one. Why many to one? Because in every few seconds the location of this trip will be changed. Okay, then we have the source location and the destination location, and we have annotated source as many to one because from one source there can be multiple trips are possible, and from one destination there can be multiple trips. The status of the trips can be not started, in progress, completed, cancelled by driver, and cancelled by customer. And there will be only one rating for one trip. Means whoever customer has traveled the trip, he will only be able to give the rating to this trip. Now let's see what are the values we have in trip rating. So in trip rating, we have the rating and the review. Okay, and other than this, we have these three properties that we are going to use in this trip rating. Okay, so this 5 models we are going to use in our application, and this base model will be used for supplying the ID, created it and updated it to all these models. Okay, so yeah, that is models.